Hello, mega exercises. This is the Muscle Lady here to remind you to exercise your muscle.
Hashtag exercise your muscle.
Shout out to all mega exercises who are getting their talent muscle advertised and showcased to other mega exercises. So if you would like your talent muscle advertised, just drop us a comment or send an email to market@tgmmega.co.za and we'll send you all the relevant information to let you know how you can get your talent muscle exercised. Wow, mega exercises week 14 on the series that we are calling Power. Wow. So, if you aren't seeing a difference or a growth with your talent muscle, it just simply means you are not applying the lessons we have been speaking about, we have been learning over the past few weeks, right? So, the magical formula power equals to energy over time, right? And we've learned in our walk on exercising our muscle that it simply means that influence that you have with your talent muscle equals to exercise your muscle over time. So if you invest time into exercising your muscle, your power or the influence with this talent muscle automatically goes up. People trust you with your talent muscle. People call on you if they need a cake. People call on you when they need a DJ. People call on you when they need an MC. People call on you when they need whatever your talent muscle is, right? You have gained the influence because you have invested time into exercising your muscle. We've also learned that if you don't invest your time into exercise your muscle, if you don't even know what your talent muscle is, your power goes down or it is non-existent. You don't have influence. People don't trust you with your talent muscle. People don't know that you've got this talent muscle. So, to have influence, to have power with this talent muscle, you need to invest time into it. Over the past few weeks, past few videos, we have been speaking on time, right? What is time? What is its relevance in our journey as we exercising our muscle? We have learned and discovered that time is a measure of non-stop, consistent change of your environment. So your environment is always changing. The people in your world's needs are always changing, right? Time measures that. We've learned what it means to be on time. We've learned what it means to be behind time. And if you're behind time, we've learned how you catch up on time so that you are on time. On time simply means you're exercising your muscle. And when an opportunity comes, when a need from the people in your world arises for your talent muscle, you are ready and then you become on time. The goal thus far has always been be on time, right? If people in your world have a need for your talent muscle and they don't call on you, you are behind time. You are not solving for the current problems, you're not providing a current solution to your world. So you are behind time. Today, we will be looking at being ahead of time. So here's time. You're solving for it today, right? People in your world have a need. They call on you because you are on time. You are on time to solve their problem. You are on time to beautify their current need. You are on time with your talent muscle. But there's another aspect to time, which is being ahead of time, right? So your world is here right now. They have a need. You're solving for it. Brilliant. But what you want to do, where you want to be, is be ahead of time. Why? Because remember, time is a measure of consistent change. Your world is changing. The people in your world, their needs are consistently changing. If you're just solving for today and you're not getting ahead of time, at some point you are going to fall behind time. Then you must catch up again. If you're not being ahead of time, you're always going to have to play catch up with your world, right? So you want to be ahead of time so that by the time the people in your world, their needs catch up here, you are ready. When they're here, you can jump to the next 5 years, to the next 2 years, where they will come and you will always be ready. A good example of this was, let's think of a few years ago when COVID hit, right? And the world was shut down. We were on lockdown, couldn't go out. If you're a fitness trainer by then, right? Say let's before COVID, right? You were here, you were solving for the people's needs in your world. People called on you. I need a fitness trainer. I need this. You were solving, right? If you were not ahead of time and COVID came, you fell behind time. If you didn't already have an online solution where you can train, where you could train people online, you fell behind time. And people who had been ahead of time, they benefited. Now imagine people are here, now you had to catch up on time, find solutions of how do we solve for this, right? So people who had been ahead of time, by the time we needed online trainers, they were ready. They just implemented. And by that time, they were benefiting from it, taking people's clients who were not ready, right? So you always want to be ahead of time because time will catch up. People's needs will catch up. Sometimes faster than you plan. COVID happens. They're here already. You need to solve immediately for it. You don't have the luxury of time of thinking, how do we solve for this? You always want to be ahead of time because the people's needs will catch up, right? How do you become ahead of time? Reinvent yourself. Don't be satisfied, don't be happy, don't be just, I'm solving for my people's needs today. I am happy. No. Always reinvent your talent, reinvent yourself. How do you reinvent yourself? So God is so brilliant, guys. He's given us more than one talent muscle. So remember, I spoke about this a few videos ago that we have more than one talent muscle. But your primary one, which is this one that is so evident, that is so obvious, that's the one you first work on, right? That's the one you put in more energy. And once you're excelling and your power levels are up and your influence, people are calling on you to solve their immediate problems, or they've got a cake that you need and you're always solving for it. Brilliant. Don't be satisfied and just stay here. At some point you'll fall behind time. Reinvent yourself. How? Go and discover the other talent muscle that God blessed you with. Some have two, some have three. Or reinvent that one that you have. Reinvent yourself. Think outside the box. There is no box. There are no limits. People say the sky is the limit. Guys, the sky doesn't have limits. Have you ever seen the limits of the sky? No. The sky is limitless. Your talent muscle is unlimited. Think outside the box. How can I do this differently? How do I package this differently? What must I do? Think always, how do I do this better? How do I do this differently? Reinvent yourself. A perfect example of this, I always make known of mention of him, Tim Hogan's. Guys, this guy, born from a poor family, started off as a security guard. He reinvented himself. He's responsible, for those outdoor gyms that you see in your community. He is responsible for that. But he didn't even stop at that. He reinvented himself. 6 months from now, 1 year from now, he always has a futuristic plan, right? He's not thinking for now. He gets this talent muscle, he masters it. He's always solving for our immediate needs. But then he goes and reinvents himself. What will people be needing 1 year from now? What will people be needing 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Think like that so that you get ahead of time. By the time life forces us to be here, you are there already. You've solved for it. You don't have to play catch up. You are there already. Then you can think of the next 2 years. Reinvent yourself. Think ahead of time, right? So you've discovered this primary talent muscle. How do you do it differently? Go and discover your other talent muscle because those other talent muscles are supposed to support this one. I read about this plastic surgeon, right? He's got this brilliant book out. Cybernetics, brilliant. So he is a plastic surgeon. So you get involved in an accident, something happened, he would fix your face up, he would fix your body, and he noticed something right from his clients. So some he would do the operation, they are a completely new person. Like he gave them a new life. Some of them he would do the operation and outwardly they would be a new person, but inwardly they would even tell him, you failed. Yes, the sky's gone, but you failed. I'm still the same person. I'm even worse. Some people wouldn't even need the operation and they're still a new person. So what did he do? He went to go reinvent himself. He went and studied psychology because he figured there must be something that goes on in the mind. It's not just physical, right? Physical plays an impact, but something goes on internally. He went and studied psychology. Now he's put in his primary talent muscle, which is plastic surgeon and psychology. Whoa, he is one of the most sought after doctor, right? People go to him and they be like, I need a makeover. And firstly, he talks to you as a whole person. He checks the mind out and sees, do you really need a physical plastic surgery or an internal plastic surgery? He's invented himself. He's reinvented himself. Your talent muscle, do not be just satisfied. Do not be happy with where you are right now. Reinvent yourself. Yes, work this talent muscle that you have. Make it put in time into exercising your muscle so that your influence goes high with it. People trust you. But once you are solving your world's needs today, think of 6 months from now. What will people be needing? 2 years from now, reinvent yourself. Get ahead of time, because time, consistent change of your people's environment. People in your world's needs are consistently changing. You don't want to play catch up. You don't want to say, ish, I used to be the one that they used to come. Do not catch up. Reinvent yourself. Look at this camera, the camera makers back then. What made them irrelevant? We've got phones now that have cameras, and they reinvented themselves. They would have been in the forefront, of this creation. Reinvent yourself. Don't be just happy with where you are or where your talent muscle is right now. Yes, you might be big, you might be making moves right now, but at some point, if you just stay here and just solve for the people's needs today, you will fall behind time. Reinvent yourself so that you can get ahead of time. And by the time the people in your world's needs catch up, you are ready. Then you can jump to the next 2 years, to the next 3 years, to the reinvent yourself. Think out the box. There are no limits. God has given you this talent muscle. There are no limits. Reinvent yourself so that you get ahead of time. You want to be ahead of time so that you're not playing catch up. You want to solve for people's needs that aren't even there yet. So you must be creative. God gave us an imagination. That's what that imagination is there for. Create a world of possibilities. Think, man, have you seen a kid with a new toy? Especially boys, they take that toy apart, they break it. They want to see, if I do this differently, if I do the same with your talent muscle, guys. Break it up. Now that you know how it works, break it up. Now that you know how to bake cakes, break it down. How can you do it differently? Now that you know how to cook chicken, how do you do it differently? Reinvent yourself. Don't be just happy that you're solving people's needs right now. Their needs are constantly changing. Time is measuring that constant change, right? You want to get ahead of their needs. You want to get ahead of where the world is right now, so that by the time they catch up, you are ready and you are not falling short like people did during COVID. You want to get ahead of time. Reinvent yourself. Go discover those other talent muscles and start working on them. Make it one, and voila, you will become a completely new person, right? You will become, something sought after. When we think of you, like, man, there's something different. I just can't put it's because you would have reinvented yourself. Reinvent yourself so that you get ahead of time. This is the Muscle Lady, here to remind you to exercise your muscle.
Hashtag exercise your muscle.
Thank you for watching this video. I truly value. Please share the link with your family and friends so that they may also learn how to exercise their talent muscle. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you will be notified whenever a new video comes out. Also, please drop us a comment. We would love to hear from you how you are exercising your muscle, how you are reinventing yourself so that you stay ahead of time. And by the time people's needs have changed, you are ready and nothing catches you by surprise. Click here to view all the previous videos in this series of power and click here for the previous series on the caterpillar. Until next time, this is the Muscle Lady here to remind you to exercise your muscle.